Breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investor. We are looking at SoundHound AI, ticker symbol SOUN. We're going to be looking at buy zones, sell levels, how to trade the stock, and where to buy long term. I'm also going to give you my prediction of where the stock's going in the long term, and also what can potentially happen if we do get a recession like many people are calling for. So let's get straight into it. If you do like SoundHound AI, please do hit the like button. If you do hold the stock, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know what your price predictions are and what do you think of its current price action. Is it a bit boring for you, staying around this $5 level, or do you not mind accumulating at these areas? I know what my answer is. Okay, let's get straight into it. So if you've seen any of my previous technical analysis of SoundHound AI, I have been saying we have been in this accumulation bottoming out structure for a while, which includes bouncing between 170 and about $4. Yes, it's a big range, but if you zoom out of this chart, you can see its IPO, you can see it go all the way up to $20, and then you can see it trying to bottom out. It did have a very quick, sharp decline all the way from $20 to about $2.66, 85% in less than 44 days. But ever since that, it's really just gone sideways. And then I covered the earnings a few months ago, around got to be 2 earnings ago now, but they had a very positive earnings and they came out of this accumulation structure. They broke out of it finally, very explosive. We took our profits at $8.73. It went all the way up to $10. It sold back off, and what we were looking for, we knew it was going to sell back off because it hit the risk reward wasn't as great. It was very overbought, and also it hit the technical level, and we were also expecting it to come back down and provide an even more bullish signal, which would be to come back to this area of accumulation and test the upper areas of this level, which is these areas here, where it used to be support at 463, then it was resistance at 464, then it was resistance between $3.90 and $5. Then it was resistance again at $5. Then it was resistance at $4. We said after this breakout, we're going to probably come back down and test it, and that's actually quite a bullish signal. It just means we're testing these levels as we go up. It's not an unsustained move to the upside. It's not just a bubble. It's going up in a nice trend, and that's. Let me just make sure we're running smoothly, and that's what we're seeing now. We are still at this buy zone. We have tested it a couple of times between 360. We broke out. We came back down to the buy zone at $4, and we're still technically in the buy zone because we are between $4 and $5 currently. They did have some good earnings recently. We did cover the earnings. The next earnings is now in 88 days. Where do I think this is going? I think it should start, if continuing this trend to the upside, having higher in this midterm trend. You can see it has higher lows, meaning more people are owning the stock. We have got a parallel channel sort of going on. I do expect it to start moving. We've tested this level enough now. We want to start seeing a reaction. It was good to come back down here. We expect it to come back down here. It was quite positive. It came back down here. It showed a sustained move. However, it's now staying here for too long. This month, by the end of this month, it needs to have broken out of this level. You can't stick around at this support level for too long. You stick around the support for too long, you'll break below the support, and then you'll be looking at $2.50 SoundHound. But I think this month, if you break out of this level, you're at the buy zone. If you treat it as a buy zone, if you treat it as a bit of support, what you expect is for it to break out, and then you want to, and then you'll see targets of $7.90, $8.72, and then once you break out of 8.72, then you can start looking at getting back up to the all-time highs potentially, which is all the way in the 20s. However, if you stay at the support for too long, the momentum will go away from you. You'll start losing these higher lows. The trend will change, and once you start losing $4 again, once you break below $4 next time round, it will look very possible that this stock can come down to $2.42. And why do I choose this level? It's not random. There's two levels it can come to. It's maybe the heart line of this accumulation structure, which is just above it at 278, but it'll probably, if it goes to 280, it's probably going to go to 240 because there is a gap in trading prices. 90% of the time these gaps do get filled. And if it was going to be attracted, if we lose this major support that we have around $4 and we come below $3.80, we're probably going to quickly come back down, and $2.42 could be an event of a flash crash where it would be a great time to buy SoundHound. So some people might say it's crazy to think it can come down to 242. I don't think it's crazy. I think it is a possibility. I think it's not the most likely possibility, but I think it is pretty likely that this happens, that it comes down to 242. A couple reasons. One can be there's a hard landing approaching. The Fed is looking to reduce interest rates either by 0.25 or 0.5. There's a 50-50 chance of that happening in the upcoming rate decisions. If it only reduces it by 0.25, people might think that's not enough. The markets might not decide that's not enough. It might be too little, too late, and then we might have a hard landing. If there's a hard landing, I think a stock like SoundHound AI, a tech stock with not too high of a market cap, that will drop very quickly, and that can, in an event of a hard landing, SoundHound AI, in my opinion, would come definitely down to $2.42. So that's why I have a limit order there. Let's say there's not a hard landing, it's not a recession, we have a soft landing. How can we come down to 242? If we start staying at the support, if we don't hold $4, if we break $4, I believe would come lower to at least 270, and even if there's a company failure or some bad news comes out, it might come down and flash crash up 242, or if there's a black swan event, 242. So I would just say 242, even though it's so much lower than you expect the price of SoundHound to be, it is a technical level. I do want to put it out there that it's still a speculative stock. It is still a very volatile stock, and buying it at a price of 242, if you have the opportunity and you don't buy at that level, you might be kicking yourself. Again, not financial advice, but having a limit order at 242, even if you think it's not going to go down there, it's not. It won't harm you. It's not going to go through unless it goes to that level, but there are chances it does go to 242. So that's my lowest low area target for SoundHound AI, and I do have higher targets. If we treat this as support, treat it as a buy zone, 872, and above that we can go to $20. Remember, we can come all the way down to 242, have a higher high, and then slowly start rebuilding, coming back above 872 and go back to $20. It will just mean that we've got our averages down, buying it at a better price. The RSI is another thing I like to look at. The RSI currently is not giving any indication on the daily time frame. If we look at the weekly time frame, the RSI is also at a neutral position. So we're very much looking at the support and resistance, and the support and resistance, we're sat at support right now, but we don't want to be sat at support for too long. If we stay at support for too long, we'll break down. I think you get the gist, and that's my review on SoundHound AI. If you have any specific questions, it's a very quick review, so if you want more details about anything, let me know, but I think you will enjoy the concise video for SoundHound as we've done previous videos before. If you want to see any other SoundHound videos, you'll see one here and one here. Do watch them, and let me know any other questions. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.